Derek, you're not an oyster guy, are you?
Well, this is all new to me. The oysters, and these are coming out of rocks. These aren't. I had no idea that what I was actually going to have tonight.
Hello everyone, Jeff, Derek, and Chef Jason here with you for another perfect pair with a taste for whiskey. And we are really excited about this because this is not our perfect pair. Right?
Right.
So we've talked a lot about we take requests, and I got to think, we have a live studio audience, right, Derek?
Yes, there's a few people watching, helping us out here today.
This is our first time, and because we take requests, I got to thank Kendra, Bill, and Jorn. They actually came up with this perfect pair of saying, hey, why don't you try this Octomore 10.2 with oysters? And I was like, man, that's a great idea. And then I thought, well, if this doesn't work, this is going to be the most expensive fail that we've done to date, right?
Yeah.
So I have to thank Chef for making this happen to get the oysters. It's a little bit tough here in the Midwest, but you made it happen. So Chef, tell us what we got here.
Well, we decided to, after finding the oysters, which was tough here in the Midwest, but we got these oysters that are fresh and kept them nice and cold. We're doing them raw right on the half shell. And the other, we did the Rockefeller. And Rockefeller's the history of Rockefeller dates back to 1890 from New Orleans. And a restaurant in New Orleans didn't have escargot, which is snails, and so they used oysters. So that's how this dish developed. John Rockefeller, real rich gentleman, businessman. This was developed after him, so his name. So, Rockefeller has the nice cream and the garlic and onion and spinach and bacon topped on the oyster, then put in the oven and baked off.
And I got to tell you, I'm really excited about this because now, Derek, you're not an oyster guy, are you?
Well, this is all new to me. The oysters, and these are coming out of rocks. These aren't. I had no idea that what I was actually going to have tonight. Like, this is the real deal you got for us here. And the other part of it is what we're going to pair it with, right?
Yeah.
So this is, I think I tried this once before, but I'm not huge into the heavy peated. And so I'm interested to see how these are going to work together. Something new I've never had, and a heavily peated scotch that I kind of struggle with sometimes, and how they interact. So
well, and I'm glad you brought this up with heavily peated. Now, a lot of times we see food pairings of Ardbeg and oysters. Honestly, that's a go-to. My friend Bob's here that does our Scotch tastings, and we talk about that a lot as far as just Ardbeg and oysters. You see it everywhere, but that's when Kendra and Bill and Jorn said, Let's go with the Octomore. Let's kick it up a notch. So Octomore is from Bruichladdich, and it is their most heavily. So the purpose or the goal is to create one of the most heavily peated whiskeys. So this one here is, and I don't know all the science behind this, but this is a 96.9 parts per million. Right? Is that right, Bob? So parts per million, so 96.9. This is a 10.2, aged 8 years, and this is a 56.9% ABV. So what better way than we're going to kick it in Ardbeg's butt. We're going to go right to this Octomore, which is a more allocated, more rare, more higher-end bourbon. So, or whiskey, or scotch. Man, I'm all tongue-tied. I'm so excited with these oysters. But really excited to see where this goes.
Yeah, and from the notes, when we go to smell this, it's got the nice sweet, the brininess already. You can smell the ocean almost in this.
Oh, yeah.
And it's going to go well with these oysters.
Oh, absolutely. So I say let's get right into it. Everybody's waiting patiently here to see where this goes. So while you're... Oh, yeah, look how nice that looks.
There we go.
So
we're going to have uncooked, and the smoke in this smells like this is cooked. So we're going to have cooked and uncooked, right?
This is fantastic. So on the nose here with this Octomore, typically you don't get any smoke. Even though this is supposed to be a heavily peated, I get bacon.
Yeah.
I get a little bit of spice. I get vanilla right there on the nose. Are you getting that, Derek?
Well, I actually thought I was getting smoke out of this, but...
Well, you can!
So my nose always goes to that the kind of the medicinal, but it takes me a minute to work past that and work past that smoke. And somebody mentioned vanilla earlier, and I thought they were joking, but actually now I find that in there. So I'm digging into the back of the glass and finding some new notes in there. So.
Yeah, and you bring out the smoke. It's not that fake smoke. It's like that bacon or that ham that's been in a smokehouse.
Meaty,
yes,
very
yes,
meaty,
yes.
and briny. Well, gents, let's go in and let's see where this tastes. So we always want to taste first, then eat. So cheers.
The raw
Cheers.
first.
Yes.
The raw first.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So there's a nice peaty note, but it's not really bad. So
just pick
gotta
up
watch
the
it.
shell.
So
You're gonna add some hot sauce.
I'm going to
to
add a
yours?
little bit of hot sauce. I'm doing this 2 ways. So I'm going to add a little bit of hot
Almost
sauce.
like it's stuck. I'm gonna loosen it up.
And, why not do it? I came prepared. Why not put a little bit of that right on? Right?
Why would
Yeah.
mine look like that?
All right. Here we go, guys.
How many drops of this you put on?
I just put just a few. All
Here
right.
you go.
We'll see how this goes, right?
Let's do it.
Here we
All
go.
right, ready? Go.
Whoa. All right. So now we taste this.
The brininess, and we call this a balance.
Oh yeah, a flavor, definitely a balance. It really balances out the Octomore with the
Thank you.
the hot sauce. You're right, Bob. That hot sauce worked really well with this. There was, I think I got a little bit of sand.
Yeah, you're going to, a little bit of shell, sand. I mean,
That is fantastic.
It's
So
great,
so
yeah.
what I get a little bit of the spiciness is toned down.
Toned down.
Even the peaty is toned down
Yeah.
a little bit.
It is. It was gone almost.
It tones it down, way down. Yeah, it does, and it just balances the whole flavor in your mouth out. Yeah.
And the other thing I noticed, the actual the what do you call that? That ocean, that fishy
Yeah.
kind of.
We don't call it fishy. We call it the sea, the open ocean sea.
That-
brininess.
The brininess
Yes.
actually is tamed down
Yeah,
a little
yeah,
bit. So really, you're right. It balances out very nicely.
Yeah, it does. It's great.
All right, guys. So is this a perfect pair?
Oh yeah, most definitely.
It made this taste good.
Well said. Well said. I like that. Okay, so let's go into the Rockefeller. So what's your recipe for the Rockefeller?
Yeah. So
what'd you use?
We took the raw oyster and just kept it in the shell, and then, like I said, I made the bacon and sauteed the onion and the garlic, and then added the fresh spinach to that. Add some heavy cream and reduce that down. Now, the little kicker in here, I add a little smoked Gouda, which I like the creaminess and the smokiness of the Gouda, and it's lightly smoked with apple wood, so it's not fully hickory smoke. So, and then we come back with we make that mixture, put it on top of the oyster, and make a parmesan buttery breadcrumb that goes on top to get a little crunch. You put them in the oven for about 10 minutes on 400 degrees till it gets brown. It should lightly cook the oyster, and then it's done. So this should have some smokiness to it and some creaminess.
So we've covered up the oyster taste. So for those that don't like oysters,
Yeah.
raw
This
oysters,
is
you
how
go
you
into
have it.
this is how you eat
This is
it.
But
All
is
right.
this going to work well with this?
Yeah, let's
right?
find out.
I mean, that's the question. now.
So we'll take another sip again, just to wet our palates. Still good. So we're going to
just taking a piece of this,
Yeah.
not the whole thing. This
No,
time,
we're
right?
taking the whole thing, Derek.
Oh, the whole thing.
We're going all in.
okay.
Go for it, Derek.
I'm just going to scoop it right off this. I'm going to shovel it
That's
in.
it.
Elbows deep.
The thing can come loose.
Oh, that's so good. Oh, man, isn't that awesome?
And the oyster's not totally all the way cooked where it's mush. It's cooked just right, perfect. And
Chef, that's fantastic.
That is really
the
good.
good
Oh my
creaminess,
gosh.
the bacon, the smokiness. Yeah, it's the sweetness of the onion come out. Oh my!
Wow.
Yeah, it's totally amazing.
So did you guys get flavor explosion on that? That was, oh my goodness, like
It
that
just,
was,
when you have it in your mouth, yeah. And
So
then
before the bacon, just now.
The bacon, the garlic,
Yeah.
look at the onion.
that is fantastic.
So I think what this tells us with this heavily peated, which I think I don't feel it doesn't taste like tar. It's not peat like dirt, or it's more maritime, more briny. But the meatiness of this really just blows this up.
Oh yeah, it's amazing.
Absolutely Kendra, Bill, and Jorn, you guys nailed it. That is indeed the perfect pair. We really appreciate the comments and the suggestions. And again, this was a request, and we don't want to turn this down.
Yeah.
So we're happy to do it, and this turned out to be absolutely the perfect pair.
Or
So
a request, but like a challenge.
absolutely, it was a challenge.
I love
for sure.
to try something new.
Yes.
Exactly. Folks, stay tuned. Check us out. We'll be posting some more. Thank you. Cheers.
Cheers.